Well, welcome everybody to the Mullins Over Music podcast, where we mull over musical quandaries and talk about music and stuff.
Rock and roll. Oh, damn.
Dope.
Did I like activate like something?
Oh,
What?
snap.
Holy shit.
We found something.
Picks up hand signals, huh?
Yeah. Wonder if no, nothing for the bird. Hey,
Damn. That's wild.
man, you learn something new every day, and I felt that in just a minute. Today with me, I have Mr. Trevor Scott.
Hola.
He is a fantastic drummer. You might know him from Hunt the Dinosaur. He's the one that keeps the heart pumping and jumping and thumping. You may
Classic.
also know him from SorrowEater and their most recent show that they just played, which from what I've seen was fantastic.
It was a lot of fun, man. That's the second show we've done, and unfortunately, the dude that composes a lot of the music wasn't able to come out. He's a army sergeant and lives in Virginia right now, and he couldn't get the day off.
Whoa, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, he's a badass dude, man. The dude's built like a Greek god.
So I want you to introduce yourself. Not that people don't already know who you are, but let give us a short little introduction about yourself and give us a fun fact. I'm sure you got a fun fact about yourself.
Alrighty. Well, my name is
for school.
my name's Trevor. I've been playing drums for almost 18 years now. And let's see, I do, like you said, Hunt the Dino, SorrowEater, Brojob. I do some stuff with Omega Virus, which is Connor Reibling from Brojob. It's like his solo project.
Yeah.
Who else I got? I work with Andrew Patterson a lot on his Unalesca stuff. And then there's like various other things that I'll pick up here and there to work on, like programming. Nothing that like plays live, but just people that need drums either recorded or programmed, whenever I can get them.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I saw on your Instagram bio, hit me up for session work or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's very tempting.
yeah. Over the last couple of years, I've gotten more into the studio side of things and got like a setup where I can track and record and do everything on my own rather than having to go to somebody to do it. And I've actually very much enjoyed that process of like mixing and shit, mainly just drums when it comes to like, doing music for other people. But fun fact, I also work sound at a venue around here, and that's been one of my new passions, I guess I could say. I love doing it.
Live sound is so much fun.
It's awesome, man. Even like the bad times are good times, you know what I mean? Like especially when everything just sounds exactly how I want it to. I'm like, fucking hell yes, dude.
It's when you get that sound and it's just right there, right in the pocket. So we got to start off our questions with a funny question. I got a good one for you.
Let's get it.
I got that for you. The first question of the night is, if you were banned from your local library, what would be the reason?
If I was banned from my local library, man, shit, I haven't been to a library in years.
You were banned for not coming.
Right. It would probably be something like small and dumb, like not returning shit because I'm very forgetful, or maybe being too loud. I'm not good at being quiet most of the time. But being a little 9-year-old kid that lived right next to the library, I was always looking for the boobies. So perhaps that.
Maybe. Those are
Opening National Geographic books.
But yeah, we always start ourselves off with a good, funny question.
Hell yeah.
It loosens people up. one of my favorite questions, and I think I'm just going to end up asking it every time now. Uh, how do you put your toilet paper on the toilet paper hanger? You put it over or under?
Man, I always do it the way that people are like, oh, you have cats? And I'm like, no, I don't have cats. What do you mean? And I guess that's like the wrong way to do it.
You see, we have cats in the house, but we do it the over way, not the under way.
Yeah, I
'Cause
always go the underway. That's what it is. Yeah.
they they haven't figured out that the toilet paper is a source of fun.
I
I,
love it. I don't know why
I'd
they
like
would.
to think we give them enough uh toys and things to keep themselves entertained. My current cat's obsession is the new e-kit I bought the other day.
Oh hell yeah!
They've been sitting on the pedals.
What kind of e kit did you get?
I got just an Alesis drum kit off of the Facebook Marketplace for $90.
Hell yeah, that's a good deal right there, man. Can't beat that.
I don't think I've ever paid full price for a piece of gear that I own.
Hell yeah, you can
Because
never go wrong with used, man. You just got to be careful.
yeah, you got to make sure it works before you leave. Dude went, I don't know what this cord goes to. Maybe you can figure it out. I'm like, it says hi-hat control. So I just plugged it in. He said, I don't know what this pedal does, but here you go. I was like, oh, you know what? I think this plugs into here. And he's like, whoa.
You can have it.
He's like, you know more about it than I do. Here, you take it. I'm like, cool. But the thing is, he was selling it for 125, so I managed to talk him down $30.
Nice. Yeah, you can't go wrong with there's so many people out there that don't know what they have. I always see like drum gear listed for like way too cheap. Like I saw somebody listing a DW 9000 double pedal for like $150 one time. And I was like, I gotta get this. I don't even want it, but like I have to get it. And they were like, oh, sorry, somebody already got it. It was listed for like 2 hours.
Yeah, that would be me. I'd be the one. It's been listed 30 seconds ago.
Give
Send
it, give
you a
it.
message. Especially that double bass pedal. That is a nice pedal. Oh.
Oh yeah. King of the castle.
Yeah, king of the castle. And he just got to feeling better too, so he's definitely feeling like the king of the castle.
Oh, sweet kitty.
Oh, he's king of the tearing up the chair. So let's get into it. I gotta ask you your personal origin story. How'd you get into music? Uh, give me the origin story to becoming the Trevor Scott.
Shit. Well, my dad was always a musician growing up. He played guitar, and him and my uncles like would always jam at my dad's house. And my uncle lived with us for a little bit and had his drum set there. And I remember going out there and jamming with my dad when I was like 7 or 8, just fucking around, being dumb. And when he moved out, I didn't have a drum kit anymore. And a couple months went by and was like, this fucking sucks. And then eventually my parents had decided to get me a drum set for I think it was my 9th birthday. They got me my first drum set. And ever since then, man, just jamming with my dad. He was always into metal and shit, so he would take me to like Static X, Rob Zombie. My first concert ever was Green Day. And so yeah, basically, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be into any of the shit that I'm into nowadays. Like when City of Evil came out, he picked that up and introduced me to Avenged Sevenfold. Uh, all the early Disturbed shit. What's that other one? Trivium Shogun album he picked up when that came out, and that was fucking mind blowing, dude. I think I was like 12 or 13 when he got that, or maybe I'm thinking of the Crusade. Either way, shit was like mega inspiring, especially on drums.
Oh yeah, I mean Trivium. What a
Yeah,
band!
especially back then, man. I was like so about it.
I love them, and that's a great story. Old Daddy O getting you into
Oh
metal.
yeah, yeah. If it wasn't for him, man, I probably wouldn't even play. Like he was the one that pushed me to do everything that I've been doing, and even in high school, like going on tours and shit. They're always super supportive of me, like doing whatever I wanted to do.
Okay. What do you think you would have done had you not gotten into drumming? Accounting?
Yeah, it's the drums of the corporate world, right?
it
Uh,
it keeps the beat of the company running.
I don't know. I probably either something to do with like animals and shit because I really like working with dogs. I had a bunch of snakes at one point, and I got a bunch of friends that are into reptiles. Or I would have gotten into what I do now a little earlier, which is computer shit. Like I work in IT, and I've always loved computers. I'm building one right now, actually. It's my first PC build I've ever done. I've always worked on them, but I've never actually built one before.
That's what's up. What's going to be the specs? Let me hear it.
Ooh, I got it's a MSI Z790 P for the motherboard. I got the i7 14th gen for the CPU, a Noctua fucking heatsink for the CPU, a RTX 3060 for the graphics card, which will probably be like the low point of the computer. And then I'm building it all in a like an open air case that I'm gonna set on a dresser over here.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, I'm stoked about it.
I'm currently trying to work two computers together.
Oh yeah.
My grandfather's friend got him a computer, but when he shipped it over, the motherboard fried.
Ooh, ouchie.
So my grandfather's had this other computer that just has a motherboard in it and some basic stuff. So I'm trying to smush them together and make something work here. That way I have a free PC for no reason.
Yeah. Shit, I didn't realize that like even this motherboard can support multiple GPUs. I'm like, why would you need multiple GPUs? Just like get one badass one, right? But I don't fucking know, man. I'm not very knowledgeable on the hardware shit besides like the general, put together whatever. I don't know shit about overclocking or like, how all that shit works. I know how to work Windows 10 and how to fix people's computers when it comes to like their email not working or like, some bullshit like that.
Hey, that's the main part that you need to know. That's most of IT right there. Why
Right.
isn't my email working? Well, have you tried logging in with your correct password? I don't
So,
remember my password.
man, I'm like, did you close it and reopen it? No. Okay, well, try that. Like, oh, wow, it works now. Good.
That's great, man. It, the simplest things can fix the biggest problems for people.
Right. Or people that like don't restart their computer for like fucking 200 days. I'm like, well, you should probably restart it.
Yeah, that computer's he's on his last legs if he's running for that long.
Truly.
I'd at least restart my computer once a week.
Yeah, I mean that's like a general rule. I feel like it reloads your OS and all the drivers and shit. So much shit gets corrupted while it's just up and about.
Or Logic, which
What's
will
up?
I said it'll reload Logic or what's the other one? Pro Tools. It'll reload all that stuff.
Oh man, every time I'm dealing with logic issues, the first thing I do is just restart the computer. Like fuck this shit. I'm not trying to figure out exactly what's going on. I'm just gonna restart and hope it works.
I fell into an issue with Logic where I couldn't get any audio to run through it whatsoever, MIDI or otherwise. I
Hmm.
don't know what's wrong with it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna restart the computer. Restart it, worked fine. Never found out the issue. Don't I don't even want to know what the issue was.
I feel that. The easier the better, man.
For real. So, uh, tell me about the set from the Sorrow Eater show. I
Yeah,
want to hear about it because you guys were the headliners, right?
yeah. It was a pretty low key show. I think the turnout wasn't like crazy or anything, but it was a small little record shop venue, and it was a really cool place in Arlington called Growlers. They got a lot of PA for a little area, and so it was a really badass show. As far as like the Sorrow Eater set specifically, we did 5 songs. We wanted to do more, but we had a fill-in guitar player, and I don't know if you've ever listened to or anybody out there's ever listened to any of the SorrowEater shit, but the guitar is extremely fucking hard, and for him to even learn 5. I was like, that's cool, man. We're just gonna send it and it'll be all good.
All
But
songs. I said they're all great songs, but they're very complex.
hell yeah, yeah, that dude writes some gnarly guitar riffs, man. And I try to write drums to match it, but sometimes it's hard, especially figuring out like I gotta play this. Okay.
Man, your drums are gnarly in Sorrow Eater. I love it.
I appreciate that.
I do my musical homework before I bring anybody on the podcast. So I go through the entire discography
Hell
of
yeah.
they've played in. And you had so much, I just started from the top of the Spotify top songs and just worked my way down.
Hell yeah. That's dope.
I,
Yeah,
I
that
have to start with Destructo, of course.
classic. I love it, man. I love Hunter and I love playing in Hunt the Dinosaur. We have a lot of new shit that we're trying to get done and that we've been trying to get done for a while. But, you know, life gets in the way. Hunter's got a little baby. Our guitar player, Josh Hansen, lives in Ohio. And honestly, he works like more efficiently than almost the rest of us do. You know what I mean?
What is the one that lives the farthest away that works the most efficiently?
Right.
You're like, you're only 10 hours away. Oh, you finished everything. Oh, I need to get on this.
Yeah. We have a whole new album written, but we need to. I think he's already re recorded all the guitars for like final guitar tracking. I still need to go and touch up some programming, but like the last song we released and one of the next songs we're going to release were both live recorded drums. And that's the first time I've done that in like a what I would consider a higher end production. Buster from Humanity's Last Breath is mixing it.
Oh,
And dude, it was a mega pain in the ass to record drums. Like, I get why people don't want to do it because I think we had like 16 or 18 different microphones going. So, you know, inputs, everything had to be lined up perfectly. Nothing could be touched in between like recording sessions. And man, even like editing, holy shit, like absolutely not. We offloaded that to some other dude that did a killer job. And I'm slipping on his name right now, but he's a dude from the Ukraine. And the recording engineer we had, Jeff Green, it was one of his buddies. And the dude edited all the drums in a single night and sent them back. And I was like, these sound perfect. Like, I can't imagine how you did that.
I can't imagine it either. I have to take like mental breaks from music in between working on it.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting there for 4 hours and just over and over and over and over again with the music, and I'll be like, I gotta stop.
Yeah.
I gotta take a brain break here. Go to the kitchen, grab a drink of water, whatever, and then
Yeah.
come back to it with a fresh mind.
Well, see, so like I only know how to work in Logic. I've never used another DAW besides Cubase whenever I was like 14 or something. And apparently, when it comes to drum editing, Logic's beat detector or transient detector is just awful. It doesn't actually detect like true like beginning of a transient. So you have to manually go in and adjust every single like slicing point. And when you know you're playing metal shit where you have like 2,500 kicks in a single song, you have to go and click every single one of those and then like move it to where it needs to be. And I was like, hell no, I quit. Like this is terrible.
I was recently messing with the transient splicing stuff because I was doing something for school in Logic. And I was like, I don't want to break out my keyboard because I leave it in a box in the corner.
Yeah.
But I always have my guitar plugged in to the Scarlett 18i20 I got over here.
Nice.
I'll just use the splicing and then I'll do transfer it to MIDI and then change it from there.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm like, uh, why is it detecting 50 extra notes?
Yeah, that's what it'll do. They say that. Ooh, sorry. They say Pro Tools is apparently the number one like automated beat detector. A lot of people that even mix in Logic refuse to edit drums in Logic, they'll offload that to Pro Tools, go do it in there, then transfer the stems over to Logic if they want to mix in there.
I have not thought about doing that. I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow
Yeah.
because I have Logic and I've used Reaper. My first DAW was Audacity.
Nice. Hell yeah.
You got to start somewhere. You started with Cubase. I started with Audacity.
Nice.
Now we're both using Logic.
I love Logic. I've as far as like the little gripes that I've had, I've never had like any big issues. It always does me right.
It's one of my favorites. I prefer it over Pro Tools.
Yeah, same here.
Pro
And I've
Tools,
tried looking at like Reaper and like Fruity Loops and shit, and I look at the interface and I'm just like, I have zero idea what I'm seeing right now.
Reaper is definitely not the most user friendly, but neither is Pro Tools, to be fair.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, Logic user friendly. It's sitting right here at the bottom of my Mac screen right now.
Nice.
So speaking of you playing drums, and how do you guys play Destructo faster than normal?
I don't think we actually do. I know that they had posted like a joke video of it sped up
Yeah, that
and like fucking just went off. And I wasn't even playing on that tour. My buddy Andrew Ramirez was filling in for me on that. And shout out to him. Dude's a fucking monster. And he is filled in for so many gigs for me, man. I'm like infinitely appreciative of that guy. He's super badass, super humble, like extra hard worker. Couldn't ask for a better dude to be covering my back on that shit.
yeah, I mean, you guys sound nearly identical in some parts.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, he was playing on that tour, and I guess they just thought it was funny, and then it took off, and everybody's like, this is sped up," and then other people are like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "Yes, it is." Like, come on.
Do you think you could play it that fast?
I would like to try. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think it's worth a shot. Next
Yeah,
tour, you guys got to try it at least twice.
yeah,
Give
absolutely.
yourself one warm up one to kind of figure out where the footing is for that, and then the second one really give it your all.
Hell yeah. Yeah, me and Hunter have talked about it ever since he did that little video. He was like, "Man, we got to do that for real," and I was like, "Yes, please. It'd be so much fun."
And he's got to jump that fast too.
Right, little hops.
So I got to ask you about your kick technique because I've seen several people do different things with their kick technique, whether it's heel toe or they just do all toe. I got to ask you how you do yours. This is for me because I'm trying to work on my kick to be faster. So I got to hear it from one of the greats.
Ah, shit. So I have been doing heel toe for a while, and there's different like ways to do it. A lot of people like hang their heel off. Like if this is the pedal board, get my hand right there. A lot of people will hang their heel off the back of it and then like push down for like a ball of the foot, and then use their toe to like send the next one. And it kind of works the same as like a diddle with your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the way I like to do it is to put my like actual heel on the very back of the footboard and like slam that in like that, and then kind of rotate up and push the toe down. So it's kind of more like it's like doing diddles, but it's like having more control of the pedal. Like I don't feel out of control ever with it. And I learned to do that by just slamming my feet down on the pedals and doing quads like heel, heel, toe, toe. So
Yeah.
I'll incorporate doing that in a lot of fills where it's like, how normally you'd go like, right, left, kick, kick, right, left, kick, kick, right, left, like that kind of general formula for fills.
Yeah.
I can do that same thing, but with like four on the hands, four on the feet. So like, and since I started doing that just for funsies when I was like 17 or 18, then I was like, well, I got to figure out how to do this for real so I can, go fast. Because my singles, dude, they suck.
My singles are not that great either.
I feel that.
I play guitar more too, so that probably doesn't help.
Nice.
I'm one of those jack of all trades, master of none thing.
Hell yeah. Like, it's more fun like that, man. You can write your own music, do your own thing.
Exactly. So I got a submitted question from one of my friends. They said, "What's your favorite time signature to play, and what's your least favorite time signature to play in?"
Hmm. Most of the shit that I do is, general 4/4, sometimes 3/4, and I like a swing feel. But you can count things however you want. Like you can go 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, or you can just go 1 2 3 4. Like your subdivisions and shit. So I generally try to count things in four. What I hate doing is anything that's like past five. So like seven, terrible. Nine, terrible. I hate just like I can't feel it correctly. You know what I mean? I
That's
can
what,
get down to five because you got that one extra beat, and it's kind of easy to be like 1 2 3 4 5, and then repeat. But after that, man, I'm like, this is unnecessary.
yeah, it can get pretty ridiculous. You got those like 12/16 and 18/32, or
I feel that.
you got the
Now I
fifth.
feel like doing like polyrhythm type shit, which Omega Virus does really well. Connor writes fucking wild beats like that, where the grouping of notes, like kick notes, will be, maybe 5/4 or 7/4, but it's under a 4/4 style beat.
Yeah.
And that kind of shit is a lot of fun. I really enjoy the challenge of that.
Okay. I like that kind of stuff too in my music. The
Nice.
feet going at a completely different rhythm than the hands. It
Yeah. Meshuggah style, man. That's where at
actually,
least
I'm
I figured out how to do all that.
thinking bleed from the sugar going.
Yeah. Man, my one of my favorite ones is "Exquisite Machine of Torture." That's like one of the last songs on Chaos Sphere.
Yeah.
That beat makes zero sense, and then like the backbone beat on top of that also doesn't make any sense. And then the dude's adding like a cymbal every seven counts, and like it's wild, man. It's like one of the coolest like combination of beats I've ever heard in a song. And that shit came out in like '98, dude, like so long ago.
Meshuggah is inhuman.
Yeah.
The, the vocals, the guitar, the drums, everything about Meshuggah just seems almost more machine than man.
Yeah. Have you ever seen him live?
You know what? I wish I had. I have not yet.
And if you ever get a chance, I've always said that is the best concert that anybody could ever go to. Even if you don't like the music, like you show up and you watch them do their thing, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't understand.
I wonder if they're going on any tours this coming year.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Last time I saw them, me and one of my roommates saw them in Dallas, and then we went to Houston the next day and saw them again because just had to, it was right there. And that was I think that was earlier last year, actually. So it's probably been about a year and a half since I've seen them.
Yeah, that all the cool bands don't like to come here. Well, I mean, some of the cool bands like to come here, but
Where are you at again?
I'm in North Carolina. I'm near Charlotte.
Okay, okay, cool.
We're as close to Charlotte as we're gonna get.
Okay,
Okay, an hour from Charlotte.
I mean that's not too
Hours
bad for
from
like
Greensboro, which is
planning on a concert day.
yeah. We went to Greenville 2 weeks ago. I think it's 2 weeks ago now to see In This Moment,
Oh,
Ice
cool.
Nine Kills,
Hell
uh,
yeah!
Avatar, and New Year's Day.
Damn.
It was a pretty good. Took my brother to see his first ever concert. He's 17, never been to one.
What? That's exciting. I bet he had a good time, huh?
Oh yeah, he loved it, especially the part during the In This Moment set when they started yelling. She said, "What's the last song you guys want to hear?" And everyone was yelling, "Whore!" And he went, "Are they yelling out whore?"
I hope that's a song.
It was just the funniest shit ever.
Metal concerts are wild, man. Everybody I know that like doesn't listen to metal but has gone out with some buddies to go see a show usually end up enjoying like the live experience, even if they don't enjoy the music per se.
But yeah, we had a local winter death fest in like 2017. I don't think they do it anymore. But I took my buddy Kevin, who typically doesn't listen to metal music to it, and he thought it was a great experience. Like
Hell yeah.
he's like, I don't really understand some of the music, but he's like, that was awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's so loud, and then like, if the band is real tight, it sounds like unreal almost. And then you got all the kids in the pit like beating the shit out of each other, and the whole time you're just like, what is going on?
It is in and of itself is an experience that needs to be experienced by everyone at least once.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I feel that way about almost all genres of music. Like I've never been to a rave, and I feel like that would be so much fun.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to one of those too. I have been to a country show though.
Hell yeah, man! I used to play in a country band for a few years, and those shows were always so much fun.
The people there are a different breed of people.
Oh yeah, I remember the first country show I ever played was at this like it was a really nice venue, but it's in the middle of nowhere, some fucking backwoods Texas city, and we get up there and I see this big like wooden dance floor type thing, and I'm like, okay, so that's where all the kids will beat each other up, right? They're like, nah, and we start the set, and like all these people get on the floor, and everybody's like doing the same exact dance, and I'm like, how do they all know what dance to do to this song? Like this doesn't make any sense,
It's the call of the country.
right?
They
They're
just
like practicing that shit in their living room, like there's no way you just go and are like, well, this is what I do. I feel it.
yeah, those complicated dances. I'm like, I don't know how you just managed to figure that out in like
Right.
5 seconds. That's what you're
Cool
supposed.
though, man. Like when it started happening, I was like, this is wild. Like I'd never seen anything like that before.
So I got my next question for you. What's it like playing with Hunter in two bands, or do you play with him in more than one band?
Yeah. So Hunter's the vocalist for SorrowEater
Yeah,
and Hunt the Dinosaur. But I like working with Hunter. He's a great dude. He works hard at what he does, and I never had to worry about him messing up or like freaking out over something. He's good at keeping his cool for the most part. He is a crazy dude. Like, there's no getting around that. Like, he's just as wild as you would think he is. But as far as like performing together and like writing together and hanging out and stuff, like I can always rely on him to do what he is supposed to do. And so when it comes to working in multiple bands, I'm like, I got no worries, man. I know he's gonna have his shit covered, and that takes a load off of me because I'm usually the guy that's running the backtracks, running the in ears, all the wireless shit. And as long as everybody knows what they're doing, man, I'm cool. That means I can chill and play drums.
that's the important part, man. You just have somebody that's really reliable like that,
Yeah,
and I'm sure he relies on you a ton, especially
yeah,
with the backing tracks and the in ears and all that stuff.
oh yeah. No, we know how to like get everything set real quickly, and he knows what he wants. I got an idea of what he wants, so I can kind of like configure that beforehand, and take some of the load off of an actual show day.
Okay, what's your load in uh time? Like, how long does it take you guys to set up?
um, I mean, it depends. Like when it comes to like setting everything up, like not in changeovers, probably like 30 minutes. I mean, the drum set is obviously a massive pain in the ass and the biggest time consumption when it comes to actual setup. And then on top of that, since I run all the backtracks and stuff, I'm setting up the rack, getting the in ears ready, the wireless is ready, making sure the backtracks are sending right out of the back of the interface that I'm using. And but usually that we figure out on stage or like right before we go on stage. If we're not headlining, you don't have that luxury to where you can like get that long sound check and make sure everything's working. But like once you do it once, it's the same place or the same thing everywhere you go.
Yeah. Okay. 30 minutes is not bad at all.
Nah, not too bad. And on some of the tours we've done, it's been like 15-minute changeovers. Sometimes, like on that Born of Osiris and Veil of Mile one, it was an opener band, which was Jinx from New York, one half of the tour, and then Slay Squad, the next half of the tour. Both of those bands are extra awesome, dude. Super like thankful to be touring with them and to like hear their music because I never heard of them before that. And then Victims went on after us, and so we're right in that sweet spot where we don't really get the prep time that the first band would get because they get to go right on stage and test shit. And then Victims, they what's the best way to word that? Born of Osiris and Vela Maya would generally be set up beforehand. So when Victims goes off stage, they don't got to worry about nobody moving their shit to like get their stuff on stage. You know what I mean? Like the next band's already ready to go. So they can kind of take their time getting off stage. We're in that spot where it's like, get on and then get the fuck off. So getting that formula down and then, implementing that every day after like, I think after like 5 or 6 days of doing that, we finally got a system down where we're like, okay, you get these things, you get these things, let's get out of here.
I like it, man. And that must have been a great tour to go on.
Oh man, it was the best experience, like best touring experience I've ever had, man. And we lived in a F-150 for 40 days, like in just a little 5-seater truck. It was the most homeless I've ever felt, and it was a lot of fun.
Hey, sometimes the least amount of stuff really means the most in here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What's your least favorite touring experience?
I haven't really had any bad touring experiences. Yeah, can't talk.
You're good.
Um, the worst time I ever had was getting on stage and then my interface just like taking a complete shit, and that happened on that tour where I was using our bass player's Scarlett 18i20 to run our tracks, and I mean you got a Scarlett 18i20, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you know how it's got that Focusrite control software.
Yep.
Um, that shit, I hate it. I absolutely hate Focusrite control software. I
Yep.
don't think you should ever be able to change the like configuration of outputs and inputs like differently from what's labeled on the physical hardware. And we did this show in California where we literally didn't even get to play because I spent too long trying to figure out why every track was coming out of every output. Couldn't figure it out, man. Like, had no idea what was going on. I was like panicking. I was like, oh shit, dude, we're fucked. And then one of the tour manager dudes was like, hey, y'all need to get off. Like, you either got to play now or you got to get off because we had already been setting up for like 15 minutes over time. And our set's only like 25 minutes. So I was like, oh shit, like I ruined this. I don't know what I did, but I ruined it. I took everything backstage, plugged it in, and everything worked fine. I was like, what? Like, I still have zero idea what happened to that interface on that show. And it was so stressful, man. I've never been more like angry and like stressed than I was at that moment.
That sounds absolutely stressful. And it's that simple thing of just unplugging it and plugging it back in that fixed everything.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was like moving it from the stage to a different like area, I guess. Like, I mean, I restarted my computer. I turned off everything, unplugged everything, plugged it back in, like brought up the session, reloaded old versions of the session, and every time every output in my DAW was coming out of like every output on the fucking Scarlett, and I couldn't figure it out. I have no idea why.
So strange. I can't
Yeah,
even begin to think of what that could possibly be.
it was a weird night, man. Like, we weren't the only ones that had issues. Like, Vela Maya had some pretty massive issues where the PA just completely shut off in the middle of their set. So, nothing you can do about that. And then Born of Osiris, too, was having a few issues. Not as bad as Vela Maya that night in particular, but I know that they were also dealing with some shit where, like, speakers weren't, like, things weren't coming out of speakers that were supposed to be coming out. And, just a whole mess of bullshit.
I guess that tour date wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. And it happens, it's all good. We went on to the next one and it went perfectly fine, so whatever.
As long as it continued to work afterwards, that's what matters.
Yeah.
So, gotta hear about your guilty pleasure songs. What are your guilty pleasures for music?
I don't feel like I have guilty pleasures. Like I'm pretty okay with everything that I listen to. But like I personally, I don't really listen to that much metal nowadays. I listen to a lot of funk music, pop music, R&B shit. Like I love Bruno Mars. I love Sam Smith. I fucking who's the dude I'm trying to think of? Anderson .Paak is a fucking genius. I love all of that guy's music. Um, who else is good? Dirty Loops is one of my favorites ever. And there's this new guy I started listening to. Have you ever heard of Igor?
Yes.
So Igor came to town not too long ago, and they brought along this dude named Otto von Schirach. He's like a EDM bass, like bass heavy style electronic music,
Yeah.
and he was opening up for the tour. And dude, this guy put on one of the coolest shows I'd ever seen, like a single guy perform, and it was so interesting and so weird and so funny. And I find myself listening to a lot of his shit now, like whenever I'm driving around or just chilling.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds pretty cool.
It's awesome, dude. He for the show he performed a lot of his like heavier shit, so he's like screaming into the mic along with his songs or whatever. But he does have like a pretty wide variety of like general like house music and then like just experimental bullshit that sounds a little too uncomfortable to listen to.
That's the good shit right there.
Yeah. But that night in particular, he was one of my favorite people I've seen and never heard of before. And then Igor put on one of the best shows that I've ever seen any band do. Like they had the vocalist live, the live drummer, everything was tight as shit. Like it was so good, man.
That's gotta be an insane show. Their music's insane, so I can't imagine
Yeah.
their show is like. Hmm. I gotta ask you about your gear because I'm a gearhead.
Hell yeah.
Ask everybody about their gear. I gotta know what's on your kit.
So my kit, I got a SJC Navigator. It's what is it? It's two rack toms. I run it as two rack toms, one floor tom and one kick drum, but it came with two kick drums and two floor toms, so I have an extra 18-inch floor tom that I don't use, and an extra 22-inch kick that I don't use. That's just too much drum for me, man. I ain't hauling that around. Even the two rack toms, I didn't do that until like 2 years ago because one was fun, but I started to get into it and I like playing around with it. Um, Cymbals, I always go cheap on. I love Wuhan. Their linear smashes are like $115 and they sound amazing. And they'll last me anywhere between 3 and 6 months. And compared to like, I've had Byzance and a lot of Zildjian K series and A series, and they're just so expensive and they last the same amount of time. So I'm like, why am I spending all this money for shit that like I can get pretty much the same sound of that I like, for $300 less.
That that's what's up, man. Wuhan, they've got some good symbols.
Oh yeah, I mean they're probably cheaply made, and their quality control isn't always there. Like every once in a while, I'll get one with a ding or two in it, but like it still performs well, and it has never let me down.
That's what's important. Well, tell
Yeah.
me about your sticks. I know you have a specific type of stick, don't you?
So I had used this brand Fish Sticks for a long time. It's an Australian brand. They're really badass. I guess the way that the sticks are built, they're like a half inch to an inch longer than normal. And I like the longer sticks because you can get a little bit more rebound without, like, you still have like a good amount of stick out the back of your hand and like more stick out the front. So I was going for those for a long time, and I would still honestly, it's just they're kind of hard to get because they're in Australia, and I gotta order like 10 pairs at a time every time I do, and they take like 2 weeks to get here or something. So anytime I'm in a pinch, I'm using ProMark fire grain sticks.
Okay.
I very much enjoy those ones.
I saw the sticks on your Instagram, so I was like,
Yeah,
I gotta buy me a pair of those. Those look cool.
they're fun, man. I definitely like if I could get those in store, I would only get those.
Yeah, of course. And then what crashes and symbols do you use exactly? Like what are the specifications?
Oh yeah. So I usually go with a 16-inch on my left, a 18-inch on the right, and both of those are almost always the Wuhan linear smashes. I really liked a Byzance that I had for a while, and I'm a big sucker for the special Ks from Zildjian, like the extra dry.
Yeah.
Anything that has like a real fast attack and also like a short decay. I don't like things to ring out. I like to hit it once and be like, psh. As far as the rest of the cymbals, I got a Meinl HCS stack, like one of those little trash stacks that's got the holes in it. They're like $60, like best deal on like a little effect cymbal you can get. I got an 8-inch Sabian B8 splash. My hi hats are Saluda, and I've had those for probably 10 years now, and I'm real surprised they haven't broke. I forget what model exactly. They're pretty much like worn down to where you can't even tell what they are anymore. Um, the ride is a 22-inch Zildjian Special K ride that was made in like the 90s. I got it in a trade from some dude, and it's all like patinaed. It sounds really cool. It's like it's real dark sounding, and it doesn't last very long. Like the pings are real short. What else do I got?
I like a dark sounding ride.
Yeah, same here, man. Like where the bell just kind of like cuts through, like I don't know, just not too bright. You know, I'm not looking for anything that's too bright. And
Yeah.
then China cymbal, I'd almost always go with Sabian Holy China. That is the best China that there is, and I haven't found anything that sounds better to me.
I've not found a China that's as good as that either.
Yeah, I've tried some other ones. Like Wuhan has this koi China that is, pretty decently priced, and it looked weird as hell. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll try it." And it sounded great, but it was a little less durable than I expected it to be. It's pretty thin, and like you can warp it really easy. It's not very like tough, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
But it was cool while it lasted. But I'll always go back to the Holy Chinas, man.
I mean, there's a reason they're named the Holy Chinas, right?
Right? Hell yeah.
So my
And
next question on my list of questions is, what are your personal top five drummers?
then, probably Matt Halpern was like the biggest inspiration for me as a kid. Like when I started listening to Periphery, I was obsessed with that dude. I fucking loved all of his shit. Watched all the videos I could of him playing. So I wouldn't even say like he's necessarily the best drummer, but I feel like he's had more influence on me than anybody else ever has when it came to like, famous drummers.
Yeah.
Matt Garska is another one that like I can't watch without just getting irritated because nothing makes sense that he does, and it sounds so good. So he's another one. Aaron Mellergard from Dirty Loops is also phenomenal. Who else do I really like?
Those are some good choices, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Matt
Uh,
Gar doesn't.
Dude, he is so good. It doesn't make any sense at all. But I know that dude plays drums for like 8 hours a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and you have to be good if you're going to keep up with Tosin and
Yeah.
Javier. I'd
Hmm.
love to see them play sometime. I still have not.
You haven't seen Animals before?
No.
Oh man, that's another show that it'll blow your mind, dude.
I meant to see a lot of bands last September, but
Yeah,
this past September, but Blue Ridge made it difficult to do that.
I feel that.
I did go to Furnace Fest the year before, and that was fantastic.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I've never been to any of the festivals up in that area. Besides like the few that we've played in like Charlotte and I can't really think of any other cities. Maybe Greenville we might have played, but I'm not totally sure on that.
Well,
Uh,
next time you guys come up here, I'll take you to some of the good food spots
yeah, I would love that. That's the one. That's the hardest thing to search for is something that's not a Love's gas station or a McDonald's.
or a McDonald's in a Love's gas station.
Even better.
We've got one of those. It's got a church. I think it's a Church's chicken in it too, as opposed to a Subway.
Nice.
That one is a favorite of mine to go to after work. Well, not anymore. my wife and I would go and get gas there and get a snack on the way home. But getting out of it now is such a pain.
Yeah.
You'll sit there for an extra 30 minutes just to get out of it.
No.
We pass on that now. We go to the QT down the road.
Nice. I love gas station hot dogs, man.
Yeah, hot dogs. You got and you got so much variety for gas station hot dogs, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, you got the thick ones, the thin ones, the spicy ones, and then you got like all the taquitos.
Exactly. And you can put a taquito on a bun.
Hell yeah.
Did you just say ew?
Might
Wife,
not be my first choice, but I wouldn't say no.
fair enough. My wife is the one who introduced me to Hunt the Dinosaur.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
She was like, listen to this song. I was like, dig it.
Nice.
So one thing I like to do with every guest on here, if I can, if I remember to, is the Dream Festival. So I stole this from Craig Reynolds, uh, from Stray from the Path. He has a podcast.
Cool.
I swear, I've said his podcast every time I've done. I listen to it and then I listen to mine and I go, okay, yeah, I can see the influence there.
Hell yeah. Shit, you always got to learn things from any way you can, you know?
Exactly. But his idea is a dream festival where you tell you're going to talk about accommodations. What's your dream accommodation? What's your dream food? Who's going to play on the festival? The only thing is you are playing the festival.
Okay. How many bands do I get to pick?
Um, we'll say 10 just for
Fuck. That's a lot. Let's see. Um, so if I was to pick a band that I was playing with, um, like out of the bands that I already play with, I would love to play with Omega Virus. We've never done a live show, and I've been pushing for it to happen someday. And I think maybe we'll get it one day. But that would be fucking awesome because it's just two dudes, me and Connor,
yeah.
and it would be so much fun. So that's who I would play with. As far as the bands that would be on it, I mean, I would be pretty selfish and just put people that I like, not people that generally fit together. So probably Dirty Loops.
I mean, it is a dream festival, so it's your dream. It can be anybody.
Hell yeah. Then it's gonna be Dirty Loops, Car Bomb, Meshuggah, Periphery. Um, man, I get Silk Sonic to play it. That'd be killer. Who else? Probably Arcspire, Igor. Man, who's some others? Um, shit.
Any from the Texas local scene that you'd give a chance on your festival?
Man, there's this really badass band that I've got to mix a couple times called Dreadlands. I've never heard of them before. I mixed them, but man, they're tight as shit, and like all of their tones are great, and they put on a great show too. So I'm gonna add them. That
Okay.
would be cool. Man, two more. Fuck, let me look at my recent plays on YouTube Music.
You use YouTube Music?
Yeah,
A lot of people do. And I'm like, I got
it's not too bad, man. Ooh, that's what it'd be. Glass Cloud, and then I'm gonna go with After the Burial, just because I do love them. I've seen them so many times, and they always put on a great show.
okay. I like your festival lineup.
Yeah.
Good, very wide variety. Can't go wrong. Okay, so where is the festival going to be at? It can be anywhere in the world.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Red Rocks in Colorado.
Okay.
Always wanted to go there.
I've always wanted to go and at least see a concert there.
Right? I've heard it's amazing.
It looks pretty every time I see pictures from bands posting it there. I'm like,
Right?
I want to go touch the rock.
Like a magical concert experience.
Exactly. Okay. So, dream accommodations, where you staying? You camping, Airbnb, hotel? What are you doing?
I would camp like on premise. I love like anytime that I've gotten to do a festival where it's like, yeah, just park your shit here and spend the night. Like you don't got to pack up and like drive somewhere after the show because that's the worst, man. Like not getting to like hang out or nothing. You just got to get in the car and go. So I'm spending the night on premise. That way I don't got to go nowhere. Um, and camping's cool. So like that style, I'm down with that. In the woods, I like that. And then I guess like if I'm getting food, everybody's getting their own Domino's pizza, man, or Pizza Hut. I don't care. Either way, I just want a pepperoni pizza and I want a whole one to myself.
Getting it, man.
Yeah.
Be getting a drink with it.
Ooh. If I'm not drinking beer, then probably Sprite.
That's a good choice. Nothing like a lemon lime soda to.
Oh hell yeah.
There was this joke I heard the other day. He said, I went to the store to get a 6 pack of Sprite, but I got 7 Up instead. I'm pretty sure I screwed up that joke somewhere, but it was funny. That's a good festival. Everyone gets their own pizza, and you could have so many options.
Yeah, there it is. Hell yeah.
That's, I'm not going to get over doing. That's cool. Hey, check this out. Yeah, you just put your. Did you know it could do that? The fascination with colors. So, you got any new shows coming up?
Nothing so far, man. Nothing's booked. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about the one thing that we have in the works, so I'm just gonna go ahead and not talk about that, just so I don't get in trouble. But we do have a really cool festival that Hunt the Dinosaur is hopefully gonna play next summer. But that is the only thing that is on the books right now.
Okay. And you said you got new music coming out. Anything you want to share, or is that a tight-lipped thing?
Yeah, I mean, Hunt the Dinosaurs got a bunch of shit like in the works to go. I honestly have no idea when it's actually gonna come out. If we get it out this year, or not this year, next year, I think that would be the goal, like later next year.
Yeah.
SorrowEater has like just way too much shit on the back end, like that is ready to go. De Leon writes more music than about anybody I know. So we have like over 10 or maybe even 20 songs that we haven't released but are done.
Okay.
Um, I know Brojob's releasing some stuff, but I don't really personally have a hand or too much of a hand in like writing with them. Andrew Zink from that band writes like if not 100%, 90% of everything that goes into that. So he writes the guitar, the drums, he produces a lot of it, he does vocals. Um, who else? Besides that, I think that might be all I really have that's gonna be coming out before too long.
Okay. Well, I enjoy every. What? Oh, gotta open some medicine.
Nice.
Gotta. Ow. You're good. We're both sick, so I need this just as much as, well, probably not as much as you need it.
And it's everybody, isn't it?
Yeah, that really it. Oh, that is an applicator.
I need to go take me some Mucinex before too long.
Oh yeah, I think we got some in the armoire.
No.
Mucinex. I thought we did. We got Theraflu.
Oh, that'll do it. Man, the what is it called? Uh what's that shit? Like the neti pot or whatever that like goes in one nostril and comes out the other. I fucking hate that shit, but it works like a dream.
My wife was talking about that earlier. The neti pot. Yes. Yeah, the thing that shoots water up one nose and comes out the other. That in college. You know what? That's what I'm getting you for Christmas now. No, it's not.
Dude, it's instant relief if you're having sinus issues. Like it's pretty wild.
And she's been having sinus issues, so she's definitely getting that for Christmas.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's part of RSV. You said your nose was running and stopped up. That would solve both problems.
Yeah, but I don't just have sinus problems.
What?
I
I,
have RSV.
I explained that we had RSV. So you got any we're about to wrap up here. You got any plugs for me?
Shit, man.
Sure, for you at the end.
Let's see. If you need mixing, man, go to Connor Reibling at Omega. I think it's Omega Studios is what he calls it. He is a master at mixing and mastering, and I will always go to him if I ever have anything. I always refer to him for anybody that's ever looking for that shit. As far as like recording engineers, if you're down in Texas, hit up Jeff Green. That dude's got a badass studio. He's very knowledgeable, a lot of fun to work with. Um, I think that might be it.
What about you? Where can they find you at?
Shit. I really only post on Instagram. So if you're looking to see anything that I do drum wise, which I've been pretty bad about posting, I'm not a very online oriented person. But at Trevor Does Drums on Instagram, you can find all my shit on there. If I'm gonna post anything, it's gonna be on there. So
Yeah. And then of course you can find you at Hunt the Dinosaur.
yes, sir. Hunt the Dinosaur, SorrowEater, Brojob, Omega Virus, uh, some or most of the Unalesca stuff, and I
Else out in
think
the
what's up?
said on somebody's track.
There you go. Yeah, and there'll be random ones here and there every once in a while, man. So just keep an eye out.
And they're always good.
Shit, I try my best.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Um, Now I always ask every person, at least I sometimes do it off the podcast because I forget this question every time.